Craving your next action-packed adventure? Audible delivers thrills of every kind on your command, like Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir, where a lone astronaut must save humanity from extinction, narrated with stunning intensity by Ray Porter. From electrifying suspense and daring quest to spine-tingling horror and romance in far-off realms, unleash your adventurous side with gripping titles that'll keep you guessing. Discover exclusive Audible originals, hotly anticipated new releases, and must-listen bestsellers that hook you from the first minute. Because Audible knows there's no greater thrill than the one that speaks to you. Discover what lies beyond the edge of your seat. Start your free 30-day trial at audible.com/WonderyUS. That's audible.com/WonderyUS.
Just waiting on Kevin. I gave him a lick mat and everything today, thinking that would help. I took him on a long ass walk, hoping he would get tired. It's only made him more powerful. Kevin! 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 Listeners, bad news. New York Times bestselling author Lindy West has hit her head on something. And now she's sad.
It's true, Megan. That's right. I was up here in my attic office where I work. I was lying down on one of my 3 beds that I have in my office. And then I was coming over here to podcast and I walked head first into a beam.
Damn.
And now my head hurts, Megan. And for some reason, we had an inside joke where we used to say I hit my head on something and now I'm sad.
You'll never guess how it originated. It originated because I hit my head on your Volvo door frame. And you said, "Are you okay?" And I said, "I hit my head on something and now I'm sad." And I said that, I think, 23 years ago. And we never stopped. We never stopped saying that shit.
I can't believe you remember the origin of
course. Anytime I tell a good joke and somebody laughs at it, that gets locked away in the vault. A good
joke.
It's a good joke.
I hit my head on something.
Yes. It doesn't matter if it's a good or bad joke. Do people respond in a way that gets the serotonin flowing? Then it counts.
I hit my head on something and now I'm sad.
No.
And unhappy.
And ass? Dad? Anyway, welcome to Text Me Back Podcast, the only podcast. I'm Megan Hatcher-Mays.
And I'm her twink son.
Not pictured, the sapphic.
I told Megan, I got a good one for the intro. You say I'm Megan Hatcher-Mays, and then I'm going to say my joke. And then
nailed it.
Yeah.
Nailed it.
So
this week we're going to talk about the stuff we meant to talk about last week. Then we got sidetracked by a truly sensational dust-up between the president of the United States and the world's richest man, which, by the way, seems Elon's walking it back. I can't think of anything more disappointing than Elon being like, "I regret what I said." By the way, tweeting it at 3:00 in the morning, tweeting, "I regret what I said about Donald Trump." Loser behavior, but we're moving on.
Why? Who fixed it? Who got in there and said, was it Kanye, do you think?
Had to have been Kanye, one of our nation's top diplomats, Kanye West. I think what happened was that his company's shareholders said, "Please stop fighting with Donald Trump due to it's costing us millions of dollars." Yeah. And Elon said, "Okay, I guess."
You can't put the toothpaste back in the tube.
You can't put the Epstein report back into the file cabinet.
Nope.
All right. It's out there, baby.
Ooh.
So this week we're going to talk about what? Conspiracies and mysteries. Mm-hmm. We've got some. Also, very exciting news. We finally have a jingle for the I Can Fix Her segment. So we're doing a very special I Can Fix Her segment, mostly just so we can play you the song So get excited.
You're not going to believe how good it is.
You're not going to believe how good it is. But first, I have a bone to pick with Congress.
What?
What?
You?
So, as you know, this podcast is made by two beautiful, better business women.
Yeah.
Also known as BBWs. We've really cornered the market on BBW content, I think. That's what I think.
That's what they're saying.
That's what they're saying. And they're saying it more and more. So, anyway, so imagine my disgust, my anger, my rage when I read an article that Minnesota Senator Amy Klobuchar is holding a congressional hearing that she's calling Trump's big betrayal of women. In other words, Amy Klobuchar is holding a BBW hearing in the United States Senate. And have I been invited to testify? No, despite being the nation's leading expert in BBW content. Whatever you say, Senate Democrats, whatever you say, I'm outraged. By the way, I'm not joking.
Yeah.
Nobody on Amy Klobuchar's staff thought about that acronym a single time. And now here we are holding a damn BBW hearing in Congress.
It's like, how could you take the big, beautiful bill and whiff the response in like so egregiously that it's even more embarrassing than big, beautiful bill?
How did you do that?
How?
I'm honestly impressed, if I'm being honest. Not the big betrayal of women.
Are you doing a satire?
Is it? I know this is a cliche, but is this an Armando Iannucci TV show that we're in? Because not the BBW hearing. Amy? Hello? Amy?
Amy said, we got to get our big, beautiful legislators together.
First we need to gather our BBLs. That's step one for this hearing.
We need to get all the BBLs.
And we need them, really sounding the alarm about the BBW. Trump's BBW.
What is wrong with her? 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 Who are these?
No.
Like, okay, if you were Amy Klobuchar's on her staff, is it too scary to be like,
yes,
Ames, listen,
yes,
we can't call it that because that's a sex word. I mean, excuse me, because that's already copyrighted by a famous podcast.
Yes, because that stands for Better Businesswoman and it's trademarked by the Text Me Back podcast, the only podcast.
Yeah.
That's what they said.
It's just like too scary.
Yeah. And then allegedly she threw a stapler at them. Allegedly.
So you got to be a yes BBW
That's
over
what
there.
they say.
If you want
That's what they say about certain Senate offices in particular. That's what they say. You got to go with the flow and you don't ask any questions.
Okay. So has there been has someone told her like what?
Well, I posted about it on Blue Sky. Hopefully it gets to the right. Hopefully it gets to the right chief of staff. I don't know. Most importantly, I hope it solves all of women's problems, which I think it will.
Yeah, that's my other question is like, what's the point? We gotta we gotta have a hearing about whether or not this is bad for women. Obviously,
it definitely is, but it's also like it's not a authorized hearing. It's what they call a shadow hearing. So if like the majority doesn't want to hold a hearing on something, you can hold it's really just a round table.
Meagan, I think we call that a party.
It's just a party.
You're having a slumber party.
Depressed.
Yeah,
it's a depressing party. And I wasn't even invited, despite being this nation's top BBW. That's crazy. Amy?
Also, you know what Amy did? Also,
yes,
macroaggression. She announced this on your birthday.
She did.
She said, "Happy birthday, bitch."
She said, "Happy birthday to one of the lesser BBWs." Signed, Amy.
She said, "We're having a party, but it's not your birthday party. It's a BBW hearing.
It's not a big birthday week.
No,
it's the big betrayal of women."
Amy,
I mean, look, I feel a little torn because it's like, look, this still counts as doing something. You want people to do things, whatever.
Sure.
I don't want to complain too much, but it's also just like, just today, United States Senator Alex Padilla was dragged out of a press conference, thrown onto the ground, and detained by Homeland Security officers. And it just feels like farting in the wind to be like, I'm having my BBW hearing. Hope you can make it. And it's just like, they're literally, Kristi Noem is saying, they're not hiding the ball. She's saying, she said this today on Thursday, June 12th. We are not going to leave until we liberate Los Angeles from the socialists. So objectively, like just saying it out loud, based on the political ideology of a given place, we will invade with federal law enforcement and the military if we don't like your government, your local government. And it just feels like a mismatch between the big betrayal of women shadow hearing and senators and members of Congress getting arrested and indicted by the Department of Justice. It's hard to proceed through life with these two different things happening at once. Is all I'm going to say.
And it's that thing where, like, I'm following your lead. I certainly don't want to besmirch the hard work of Klobuchar.
Sure.
Thank you for saying something, I suppose. But it feels like that, like, liberal impulse to be like, yeah, I called him the Cheeto Man. I don't know.
Like,
he's sending, like, the U.S. Marines to mow down your teenage son.
I don't know. I mean, yeah, it's like, I get it. Like, when you're in the minority, there's very little you can do. And our country has not faced an authoritarian like this in 249 years. So I get it's hard to make adjustments, but it also just, to your point, it feels like when we were all wearing safety pins or whatever, to be like, I'm safe.
You can talk to me.
Like, okay.
I couldn't be an unsafe person who put on a safety pin to trick you. Or
I'm posting a black square on Instagram. It just feels a little small.
It's small, and it's like maybe people found comfort in the safety pin,
or maybe people are finding comfort in the BBW. We don't know,
and that's great.
That's great.
Look, okay, BBWs for all. BBLs for everyone.
A BBW on every kitchen table. That's what they were saying.
So absolutely. But I just, man, what a scary time that I don't like.
Actually, so watching this Padilla stuff today, I will be honest, I am scared. That's really scary.
Yeah. My heart was fluttering, and I don't want to start a fight with you right now. And so I don't mean this in any kind of a way, but season 2 of Andor is like about this, and it's literally like all of this happens in the show.
Yeah.
And like Benjamin Bratt is a senator, and then they have to like flee the Senate, and then meanwhile there's a protest going on, but secretly the Empire let the protest grow, and then they sent in like green troops to freak out when a protester throws a rock, and then they can use it as like pretext to just kill everyone.
Yeah.
And I'm just watching it, and then I keep seeing Instagram videos of like what's actually happening. Oh, there's like a curfew, but then nobody can get home, and they're all trapped out in I keep texting Aham and being like, Andor, the news is the TV. The news is the Star Wars. Because they must have shot it like 2 years ago.
Like a year ago?
Very trenchant commentary on what actually ended up happening. And it's very scary. But
it's just very scary.
They've got the Resistance has some tricks up their sleeve.
Such as a non-televised BBW hearing.
Yeah, that's what they did in the show. Yeah,
it makes a lot of sense. So again, we hope this podcast is helping you cope through a very difficult time. It's helping us a little bit. But stay safe out there. Be careful. And we love you.
My mother is going to go to a protest on Saturday, which
Cute.
is like
No King's
solidarity.
Day.
Yeah, solidarity with the LA protesters. And I was over at her house yesterday and she was like, hey, do you know how to make custom t-shirts? And I was like, yeah, it's not that hard. There's lots of websites where you just upload your design and then they'll make it for you. And she was like, oh, because I have an idea for a t-shirt I want to make for the protest on Saturday. And I was like, Saturday? Well, it's Wednesday. So we needed to have started this 3 Wednesdays ago. But
yes.
But tell me more. Maybe there's some place like in Seattle that does like cheap same day iron on whatever. I don't know. I'll do some research. So she was like, I want to get a t-shirt that has that like iconic image from Kent State, that image where this woman is kneeling over her dead friend and she's screaming. And then I want to say never again underneath. Because she was like, I remember when that happened and it was like one of the scariest days that I can ever remember in my life. And she's like, I think people don't remember about that, which is like probably true. Who knows what they're teaching in the schools these days, because
they've closed the schools.
They've closed the schools.
Who knows what these kids are learning?
So I was
are our children learning? No, they are not.
Not about Luther Vandross and not about the Kent State massacre.
Certainly not about Kent State. I'll tell you that. I'll tell you that right now.
I was like, look, Mom, I'll see if I can figure this out. So I find like a Seattle company that does same day t-shirt printing, but because of the type of printing it is, it has to be a specific format and it has to be on a transparent background. You know how you can make the background of an image transparent. Now, do I want to go downstairs to the basement and get my laptop? No, I don't. So I'm trying to just do this on my phone. And so I'm like Googling like make image background transparent. And, I stole the image from Wikipedia. Then I'm just trying to figure out how to do this. And of course, I end up in like an AI hellhole. And it's like, oh, I can make the background transparent. Here, I did it. Click here to download. And then it's like, download the app. So then I'm like, okay, I gotta help my mother. So I download this app. And then it's like, subscribe to the app and then you can have it. And I was like, ugh. So I log into this stupid app and then it's like, okay, we have your image with your transparent background, but we noticed that your image doesn't have a background. I'm like, yeah, I know. And it's like, here's AI's suggestion for some backgrounds. And then it gives me this screen of AI suggested backgrounds. And it's like, so again, dead body. And then
like the worst day, a dark day of not just of those two people's lives, but of American history.
Yes. Dead.
It's oozing pathos.
Yes. Murdered college student protester lying dead. His friend on her knees screaming to the heavens.
Yes.
And then the AI is like, what if the theme was coffee shop? And then it puts this background where it's like a cozy coffee shop. She's on her knees screaming. And then there's a bin of coffee beans and the corpse is face down in the coffee beans. God. And then it's like, what about sunset? And then they're on like a dock in a beautiful lake. And then there was like, what if the theme was baby shower? What if you gave it this background? Marble countertop. It's like they're in a kitchen, but they're really small because they're like on the marble countertop, like they're tiny people on a giant's counter. And let me tell you, I've never laughed so hard in my life and cried.
Everything about being alive currently is horrible.
Tell me again that this is going to replace art.
Yes, a human artist. I don't think so.
It's sorry, artificial what? Intelligence?
Oh, really?
Is the intelligence in the room with us right now?
Is it? Because you've put a dead man in a bag of coffee beans.
So yeah, one of them was like, the theme is berries. And then it's just like bowls of raspberries all around. And she's like screaming.
Oh my God.
But like, it seems like it's not an artificial intelligence so much as a huge dumbass.
Well, who am I to question the genius of Silicon Valley?
Dude.
You know?
Dude.
So
Why did we
I
Yep.
don't know.
Yep. Anyway.
The geniuses have better PR than we do, I guess.
If you own a t-shirt company and you would like to travel back in time and give my mom a Kent State t-shirt last Saturday, get in touch.
Give us a call. Just waiting on Kevin. I gave him a lick mat and everything today, thinking that would help. I took him on a long ass walk, hoping he would get tired. It's only made him more powerful. Kevin! All right. Okay. Well, you know, there's no good way to segue away from AI death, but we did get a jingle for I Can Fix Her from listener Krista. And it's so funny and so good that we had to create an I Can Fix Her segment for this week's episode so that we could play the song.
You know what, Megan? The jingle is so good and so beautiful and so, I mean, you'll hear it, so special. The jingle itself has fixed some part of me.
Yeah.
Deep inside.
I think so. I'm no longer scared.
Yeah.
Thanks, Krista.
Thanks, Krista.
All right, enjoy. I can fix her. It's so funny. Thank you, Krista. It's so dumb. I love it.
The cry. What is that? Is that a loon?
Yeah, I think it's a loon at the end there. Lindy, what's fixing you these days?
Megan, okay. I don't like to shave my legs.
Nope.
Too far. They're too far away. You know? I don't like reaching down there. You got to do it. Oh, you got to reach down there again and again. You got to like,
Who has the time for all that reaching?
I don't like to be in the shower that long. It's just annoying. I don't like anything about it. When I lived in the city, I used to go to my friend Belinda, and she would wax my legs and she would wax and tint my brows, which was
nice.
If you want, well, most people have visible eyebrows, but if you are a pale ghost clown like me, number one beauty tip is just make your eyebrows visible.
Yeah.
I never felt better in my life than when Belinda made my eyebrows visible. I will link to Belinda's business in the show notes.
Well, did she used to work at Vane?
She used to work at Vane.
She did my wedding makeup.
She did.
Belinda.
Oh,
yeah.
I love her so
nice.
much.
Yeah. She's such a wonderful lady. Yeah.
She's absolutely the greatest. So I used to go to Belinda. Now I live in the woods.
Mm-hmm.
Look, all my hair is like transparent and invisible, but I don't put lotion on. So sometimes I look down at my legs, and in the right light, I can just see like,
I can see
this
it
like
all.
scraggly, dry forest of like little whiskers, like,
sure.
And they're like thin, but they're long, and they're like shimmery, and there's just something about it that repulses me.
Yeah.
And
I wish I could be like the kids of today, because the kids of today, many of them are like unburdened by hair removal. Yeah. They've got the armpit hair, they've got the leg hair, and I want to be that person so badly. But it's over for me. It's so ingrained in my mind that body hair is hideous to gaze upon. By the way, it doesn't bother me when I see it on other people. But for me personally, it's that same feeling of like, ugh, gross, which is a weird way to feel about your own body. Yeah. Something to work on. But man, do I hate it.
I think, I don't know if this is true, but this is what I tell myself, that if I was more accepted as like a feminine person, like I feel like being fat, I'm not able to perform femininity in ways that match sort of my gender identity. Yeah. And so then there are just certain things that push me over the edge where I'm like, I can't.
Well, but also, you know, when you're in a bigger body, people are less gracious about what society deems as like dirty or whatever. It's like you can't get away with missing a shower day or whatever, because society already has this like
Right.
view of fat people as being like slovenly and dirty also, which is like not true, obviously, but like
obviously not true.
But you can't. I mean, did Lindy wash these guys? Yes. That's not important.
No, I did. Look, they're just too long.
Your bangs do look very freshly washed and beautiful.
They're clean.
But it's like you can't engage in sort of like subversive fashion choices if your body is under attack by society at large. Like you don't have the freedom to be like, I'm not going to shave my armpits or whatever. Yeah.
And now, okay, do I shave my armpits? No.
Or like, but it applies to like the fashion girlies are wearing oversized sweatshirts, oversized pants. It's like that's no one in a bigger body is. I mean, you should. I'm not saying I am judging. What I'm saying is like there's less freedom for that kind of like exploration of, you know, subversive fashions and stuff. People just think it doesn't dirty.
Read the same.
Yeah.
And like so same with like when normcore was happening. It's like, it doesn't. Yeah. I've always been allergic to that thing where really hot people wear really ugly things. Yeah. To be like, see, look what I can do.
Like it's normcore. Well, and also that one's just unfair because they were having plus size children in business casual from like 8 years old. So you guys were being sort of forced again, like non-consensually forced to be normcore.
My culture is not a costume.
Like, your culture is not a costume until finally like 2 years ago, Anthropology started selling plus size clothes.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why I'm in so much tax debt, because I had to say, well, I'll have one of everything. Thank you.
Thank you.
But it's weird because you really can't see my leg hair. My armpit hair, it's like, I don't know. It's just like, I almost would like it more if it was dark. Like, I feel like it just looks like a weird, fuzzy, like, like a dusty. I feel dusty all the time.
Sure.
But anyway, here's what fixed me. I'm so excited about this. And I think I should check my privilege. My hair is really fine and sparse. So
you do have like Nordic hair privilege.
Right. Like, was it you who used to always be like, do you shave your arm?
Probably. Because I am very swarthy. I have the swarthiest MFer that we got.
Like,
you know?
My arm hair is truly invisible.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I don't think this product would work for everyone, but I bought some like pre-made wax strips for leg waxing, where you don't have to heat it. You don't have to wipe it on with a tongue depressor, popsicle stick. You just peel the strip and then you put it on your leg and then you rip it off.
Nice.
I had the time of my life doing this, Max. It was so fun. I was watching TV. You can't watch TV while you shave your legs.
No, you can't.
I was watching season 2 of Andor. Sorry to say. I keep saying it like that because I don't want to be that person that pressures someone else into watching a TV show they don't want to watch.
Well, it's not that I don't want to watch it. I just have a mental block about Star Wars. The lore does not stick in there. I know they say you don't need to know the lore for Andor, but it's just a mental blockade.
Like Andor, Andor specifically, like, could be not even set in the Star Wars universe. Like, it's truly just like a story about these people.
Its own thing.
Yeah, it is. But this is not me trying to convince, because convincing turns a corner and then the person becomes hardened.
Yes, they're hardened to your recommendations.
And
forever.
I can't tolerate that. I will die. So anyway, so I'm waxing and look, did I have to use like 35 strips? Yes.
1,000%.
Do I need to already order another box? Yes. Am I going to? Yes. I loved it. And then it comes with these little like skin oil moisturizing wipes that like get off any wax residue and also moisturize your legs.
Nice.
I just feel like $1 billion. It wouldn't work on my armpits. Whatever. That's fine. I don't care about my armpits. If there's just something about my leg hair that I don't like when I see it glisten. And and now it's gone, baby.
Yeah.
And I'm fixed.
Rip.
And I didn't have to stand in the shower for 10 minutes, bending over, standing up, bending over, standing up, rinse the razor, bend over.
It's really the rinsing of the razor that causes the greatest distress of all. It takes forever.
It takes forever. And then I imagine all the little hairs like down in the drain, forming sort of like golem.
a golem.
Not a golem. Not a Smeagol.
Golem.
A golem.
Yes.
Not a Smeagol.
Not a Smeagol. Well, congrats.
Thanks. I'm pretty excited. And I also bought, I haven't tried them yet, but I did buy tiny little ones for eyebrow shaping. Because I also don't like plucking my eyebrows.
No, me neither.
And
that's why my eyebrows are they just do whatever they want.
Well, your eyebrows are beautiful.
Thanks.
They have a very beautiful natural arc. I don't know why I think that it's really the tinting that is the bigger impact. Because again, you can't see them.
They are invisible. Yeah.
So I don't know why I think that the waxing matters at all. But it just seems kind of fun. I don't know. I guess I'm on a beauty arc. So
congrats. Do you want to know what fixed me?
Literally more than anything, because you teased it. You told me you were going to do one thing, and then you said, "Oh no, I thought of something better." But you didn't tell me what the better thing was. Which, by the way, can I say that the original thing was just electrolytes, which is so funny.
Yeah,
because literally, your body needs that.
Yeah. I went to the doctor yesterday, and she's like, "How are you feeling?" I was like, "Deb, I've been drinking water. Sometimes I put some electrolytes in there." Yeah, I was like, you guys were not joking about being hydrated. Like, that actually makes you feel better. And she laughed and she said, yeah, we're not like taken in by big water. And I said, I get that. I understand that now. I get it now.
Deb, do you want to be on a podcast?
Does she want to be on a podcast? I love Deb. No, but I don't want anyone to know who Deb is. I'm so scared that she's going to get too popular and then I won't be able to see Deb anymore. Okay, so I went and checked my mail. I love to check my mail. I almost never get mail, but I check it every day, just in the off chance I get something interesting, And I got something in the mail that I didn't even order. It just came to me, and my life is fixed. And I'd like it to share with our listeners now. It's a book called The Way to Happiness: A Common Sense Guide to Better Living, and it's got a very sort of pastoral image on the front of a dirt road. And some trees, a little Thomas Kincaid vibes, I would say. And I was like, what's this? I was like, have I been sent something by the Jehovah's? Because it has a very distinct religious
it's giving to it. Jehovah.
It's giving Jehovah.
It's giving assembly.
And I open it up and, the first page, says, happiness. True joy and happiness are valuable. If one does not survive, no joy and no happiness are obtainable. Trying to survive in a chaotic, dishonest, and generally immoral society is difficult. Any individual or group seeks to obtain from life what pleasure and freedom from pain that they can. Your own survival can be threatened by the bad actions of others around you. And I was like, what the fuck is this fucking book? So then I look on the back, and it was sent to me by something called the Way to Happiness Foundation. Ooh. And I was like, what the fuck is that? So I go down at the bottom in very fine print. It says, this may be the first non-religious moral code based wholly on common sense. It was written by L. Ron Hubbard.
No.
As an individual work and is not part of any religious doctrine. And then it goes on to say, as such, you can distribute this in government buildings.
Jesus
because
Christ.
It's not technically a religious book.
Dude, come on.
So then I open this bad boy up just to see what kind of advice I can get here. Number one, take care of yourself. That's a good one. 1.2 underneath is keep your body clean. People who do not bathe or wash their hands regularly can carry germs. They put you at risk. You are well within your rights to insist that people bathe regularly and wash their hands.
What do you mean, well within your rights?
It's in my rights to insist. Yes.
That's fatphobic.
That's fatphobic. And then 1.3 is preserve your teeth. That's important. Number 2, be temperate. 2.1, do not take harmful drugs. Don't tell me what to do. Number 3, and again, I find this just so odd for coming from a person who invented a religion like 60 years ago. But number 3 is don't be promiscuous. What the fuck do you care?
Also,
Ron?
Wasn't L. Ron like a creep?
Wasn't he?
I don't know.
Kind of creepy?
I feel like he was getting busy.
Number 4, love and help children. It's not important, really. Number 5, honor and help your parents. Whoopsie. Number 6, I had a good example. Number 7, seek to live with the truth. And then this one's very good, and I think very relevant for today. False data can cause one to make stupid mistakes. It can even block one from absorbing true data. One can solve the problems of existence only when he has true data. So,
well, in Star Trek The Next Generation, Data sometimes is impersonated by his evil twin brother Lore.
That's what he's talking about.
That's what he's probably talking about.
Number 8, do not murder. And this one is so good because he goes on to say there's a difference between thou shalt not kill and thou shalt not murder. And I'm like, I'm sat. I need to know.
Yeah.
He says there is a considerable difference between these two words, kill and murder. A prohibition against all killing would rule out self-defense. It would tend to make it illegal to handle a serpent coiling to strike the baby. It would put a race on a diet of vegetables. I am sure you can see many illustrations of the difficulties raised by a prohibition against killing.
Okay. Sorry.
The baby?
The baby?
Why is the serpent coiling to strike the baby, first of all?
Ron,
I don't think snakes do that.
How did the serpent get into the baby's house?
And then it says, number 9, don't do anything illegal, which I feel like we kind of already covered. And then number 10, no, this is important. Number 10, support a government designed and run for all the people.
Oh.
So he's pro-democracy.
Okay.
Anyway, it goes on like that for some for some pages. Number 13, do not steal. Again, I think we covered that with don't do anything illegal.
Yeah. Also,
so
hold on. This is the guide to happiness?
Yeah.
What if you
Are you not happy yet?
Well, but what if you're unhappy because a thief stole your favorite stuffed animal and then you have to steal, or it's the baby's, maybe it belongs to the baby and you need to steal it back
from the
thief, from the serpent who stole the.
Yes.
I'm just saying, like, there's mitigating circumstances.
So I'm just saying, look, maybe you all out there fix yourselves by engaging in the vulgar act of exchanging capital for items. But not me, baby. I found my way to happiness, and it's by grabbing the serpent coiling to strike the baby. And I am fixed. So I just want to thank the Way to Happiness Foundation DC chapter for fixing me
Meagan,
with this item.
Meagan.
Yes.
You know why you got that, right?
I do know why I got it.
It's because
they heard what I had to say.
I think one person in particular listened to the podcast.
Tom, if you're listening, I'm fixed, baby. My thetans are clear, homie. It's all thanks to Mission Impossible 8, Final Reckoning.
Meagan, Tom
Thanks,
Cruise
kid.
listened to the podcast and then he sent you that magazine.
I wish he'd send me a signed 8x10. I don't need this booklet. I mean, I do. I'm fixed because of this.
So that's all it is. It's just a list of all the ways that you could get me happy.
Yeah. And then it says you should get more copies and you should give one to a friend. And then at the beginning, it says, why I gave you this book. Your survival is important to me. And then there's a footnote next to the word survival. And then the footnote reads, survival, the act of remaining alive.
That's not what it's about. It's about happiness. You're supposed to be doing more than just surviving. You're supposed to be thriving.
And you shouldn't be promiscuous and you shouldn't drink or do drugs, and then you'll be happy.
But what if doing drugs and being promiscuous is what makes me happy, Meagan?
You're telling yourself a lie, bud. You need a copy of this book. I'm going to send this one to you. I'll get myself a fresh copy.
Meagan, what if letting a snake kill the baby is what makes me happy?
All I've ever wanted is for the snake to strike the baby. The baby.
Oh, you know what, Meagan? This is both an I Can Fixer and a Snake of the Week.
It certainly is. One moment, please.
Snake of the Week.
Thank you to Krista, and thank you to, oh, geez, I'm so sorry. I don't remember the name of Snake of the Week person, but I feel like your husband was involved and maybe there was a dog there too. Oh, no, that was Dog Thoughts.
Yeah.
I don't know. Thank you all of you who have sent in a jingle. We're getting so close to having a jingle for every segment. And thank you, Krista, for the beautiful I Can Fix Her jingle, which has fixed us. And thank you to the ghost of L. Ron Hubbard for fixing me on this day. And thank you especially to Tom Cruise. I know you're out there, bud. I know you're out there.
And thanks to the baby.
And thank you to the snake.
Hang in there, bud. You know, after we recorded our apology for 2 weeks ago, saying that the man-eating screwworm was a normal news and not a snake of the week, I got to thinking, have I been too hard on myself? Because I was like, why did it not occur to me to make it snake of the week? And you know why I realized? Because the screwworm is not a long, wiggly worm. It's a short, fat worm.
Yeah.
It's not a long worm.
He's like borderline microscopic, maybe. Well, if not like, completely microscopic.
I would say, if I had to guess, that he's about the size and shape of a Good and Plenty. Maybe up to a hot tamale. I don't know.
Interesting.
A Mike, or perhaps even an Ike. And
wow, even an Ike, you say?
And
okay.
And I know I've said all worms are snakes, but are short, stumpy worms, are they snakes?
Worms that become flies? Is that kind of pushing it a little bit? I don't know.
Is it a worm or is it a grub? Why are we calling it a worm?
Interesting. Sound off in the comments. Listeners, give us a call, 703-829-0003. Let us know. Is a small worm a snake? Is a worm that becomes a fly a snake? Let us know. This is important.
I'm leaning toward you got to be a long worm.
Interesting.
I mean, not to gatekeep. I don't know.
It's a little bit of gatekeeping. It's a little bit of elitism, maybe. I don't know. We'll have to hear from the community about this one.
Yes, I'm deeply conflicted. Like, I haven't made up my mind yet. So, like, don't jump down my throat.
You're still doing your own research on this.
I'm doing my own research. Okay.
Yeah.
What's next, Megan?
We're going to take a little breaky break, and then we're going to come back with some conspiracies. Stay tuned.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. With the price of just about everything going up, we thought we'd bring our prices down. So to help us, we brought in a reverse auctioneer, which is apparently a thing.
Mint Mobile Unlimited Premium Wireless. How to get 30, 30, bit to get 30, bit to get 20, 20, 20, bit to get 20, 20, bit to get 15, 15, 15, 15, just $15 a month? Sold!
Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. New customer offer for first 3 months only. Speed slow after 35 gigabytes if network's busy. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.
Did you know that parents rank financial literacy as the #1 most difficult life skill to teach? Meet Greenlight, the debit card and money app for families. With Greenlight, you can send money to kids quickly, set up chores, automate allowance, and keep an eye on your kids' spending with real-time notifications. Kids learn to earn, save, and spend wisely, and parents can rest easy knowing their kids are learning about money with guardrails in place. Try Greenlight risk-free today at greenlight.com/Wondery.
Listen, something's been on my mind, and I'd like to discuss it.
Yeah.
In a segment we're calling Conspiracies and Mysteries. Do you have one? Do you have
no.
the anti-mystery?
You know, I thought of one when I woke up this morning, and then I forgot it.
Okay, well, that's probably the conspiracy. Why'd she forget? Sound off in the comments. If you're the CIA, let us know. Here's mine, and this has been driving me crazy for like 7 years. I feel like that here I am driving around the District of Columbia. Okay. And by the way, people in this region drive like absolute fucking trash. They drive like shit. And people from Maryland, y'all are the worst. You want to die out there, but you won't rest until you kill the rest of us too. And I'm not for that. I want to live, you know?
That's beautiful.
I barely want to be on the highway at all, let alone next to your crazy 900 mile an hour ass.
Well,
you know
now
what I'm saying?
that you found the path to happiness, you want to live, you know?
I want to live now that I have the key. Anyways, here's what I've noticed. So there I am driving around, and I just have noticed like every single car on the road has new driver, be patient, or like whatever, some version of I'm a new driver,
student driver,
new driver, whatever.
Yeah.
Which might explain some of the shitty driving, but obviously the worst drivers do not have the sticker on the car.
No.
It's other people. And at first I didn't really think anything of it. I was like, fine, I'll give a wide berth to this new driver. Then I started to notice that a lot of these new drivers were like my age or older. Again, learning is a lifelong gift. I just figured, fine, older people are getting their first driver's license.
Or
whatever.
It's like their teenager is learning to drive on their car.
Right. Or whatever.
Yeah.
Yes. But now it's like every single car has a new driver sticker on it.
Yeah.
What the fuck is going on with that? Like, where did you all come from? What's with all the freaking new drivers? Why are you all 50 years old? You know, it's never a teen. It's never a teen. And so I got to thinking about this, and I was like, I feel like one driving instructor is running around telling everybody, oh, put this on your car. People will be nicer to you when you drive, which was true for me at first.
They'll let
then
you
I
merge.
realized, now I'm like, oh, it's a new driver. I'll let them go in front of me or whatever. Or I'll forgive you cutting me off in the Target parking lot. No, we don't shop at Target. I'll forgive you cutting me off in the Safeway parking lot. You're just a new driver. You're just a baby.
Yeah.
But you can't all be new drivers. Not everyone in this city can be a new driver. Not all 750,000 people moved to DC yesterday and just now got their driver's license. And now they have this new driver sticker. I feel like it's a conspiracy being perpetrated by Big Student Driver School. I think they sell the stickers like $5 a pop or whatever.
Yeah.
That's probably pretty good business. And they trick people into putting them on their cars because they're like, oh, to make people treat you nicer.
Yeah.
Even though you're not a fucking new driver. None of you are new drivers.
I feel like we don't even need to lay blame on the sticker company. I think that all of these individuals are doing a nasty grift.
Yes.
And I want to place blame upon them.
They are building a false sense of community. Listen, we're going through enough as it is, okay? You don't need to lie to me about your driving skills on top of everything else we fucking got going on, okay? And then, by the way, so I'm thinking like this must just be like a DC area thing where like so everybody got the memo that you got to put one of these stickers on your car so people will be nice to you. Last time I was in Seattle, like 1 in 3 cars had one of them shits on it.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, it's spreading.
I see them all the time. All the time.
I can't deal with the lies.
Here's what's crazy to me. So when my older daughter, Penelope, was learning to drive and she was in driver's ed, we put one of those stickers on our car because I want people to stay away from her and like let her emerge and whatever. Yeah. There is nothing in my life that I have found more humiliating, infantilizing, I'm going to say emasculating.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Even as a hairy-legged woman. No, I hated driving around with that sticker on my car. And it is pathetic to me if anyone is such a freaking weenus that they would be willing for shame to drive
shame on
around.
You.
That feeling doesn't bother them. They're not embarrassed. It's like, that's like disgusting to me. And because here's my suggestion. If you want the same effect, why not put a sticker on your car? If you want to do this grift, put a sticker on the car that says, really advanced professional driver, I'm doing a thing. that you don't understand.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm Lewis Hamilton. This is F1. Okay. And then I'll be like, oh, I will stay away from that person. I bet he drives good but crazy.
Yeah.
It's just the boy who cried new driver, because now it's having the opposite effect, because I'm like, well, there's a liar I've spotted on the road. I'm not going to be respectful to you. I'm not going to let you merge because you are a liar. You lie about your skills. I bet you've had your driver's license for 5 fucking years at this point, bro.
Yeah.
Lies.
When I was driving around with that sticker on the car, I found myself wanting to make eye contact with other drivers and be like, it's not me. Not me.
I'm not me. Well, is there anything more humiliating than making like a dumbass driving mistake and you got one of those on the back of your car? Everyone's going to be like, oh, idiot, baby, woman.
Baby woman is what they would say.
That's what they would say. Anyways, driving me nuts. If you have a thought as to why the people are driving around with the goddamn new driver stickers on the back of their brand new fancy BMWs. That's the other thing that gets me. They're always on a really nice car. It's like, there's no way. When I was a new driver, I was driving around in my 1987 Volvo 240 DL. That is the type of car that should have a new driver sticker on it.
Rest in power, queen.
May she rest in power, queen. If you are driving around in a goddamn, like, 2021 BMW, I don't want to see it. Lies.
There's no way that you're letting your teenager learn to drive on
Please
your
stop lying to me.
$100,000 car.
A fucking G-Wagon with a new driver sticker on it. Give me a break.
Grow up.
Anyways, grow up, loser. Loser. Anyway, let us know why that's happening. 703-829-0003 or email us at deartextmeback@gmail.com. And if you drive around with one of those things on your car, why do you do it? What's going on with your neurons? What's misfiring in your brain? I don't like it.
Expert driver. I'm doing maneuvers.
Don't worry about what I get up to. I'm driving. Parentheses, good.
I'm Sean Duffy. I'm allowed to do whatever I want. I'm allowed to do this.
I rule the road.
I have clearance to drive crazy. Don't ask questions. That's the sticker.
I have the highest security clearance to cut your ass off in traffic. I'm Sean Duffy, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, let us know what you think. That's my conspiracy. Now we're going to take a break, and when we come back, the show's going to end, and then Lindy and I are going to go lay down, because oh boy, are we sleepy.
Oh boy, I hit my head on something, and now I'm sad.
Folks, she is sad. Well, Lindy. Here we are again. Another scary week in the United States of America. By the time this airs, many of you probably did go to a No Kings rally on June 14th. I hope you all stayed safe. Let us know how it went. I live in DC. And I will be honest with you, I'm too scared to leave my house the entire day because Donald Trump will be holding a military parade, and they have already brought the tanks into the city. So I will be staying in the confines of my own home and not going to any counter protesting because I'm scared.
Meagan said, tanks, but no tanks.
Tanks, but no tanks, baby. I said, big, beautiful tanks. Big, beautiful
tits.
That's what I said. Anyway, thanks for just staying out in these streets and not letting them get you down. It's really rough. I hope the podcast is helping. By the way, we want to forewarn you that we will be taking the month of July off.
Yeah.
Because we are so tired, folks. So sleepy. And also, critically, Angel producer Allie is also taking the month of July off. And so you don't even want to know.
We can't do it without Allie. Come on.
Dog. You tried to put out a podcast without producer Allie? You don't want to hear it. You don't want to hear it.
I tried to walk from the bed to my desk to record the podcast. I injured myself.
And you want us to put a podcast out?
I jostled my brains.
But there'll still be stuff on the feed, so stay tuned. We're thinking about what we're going to do. It'll probably be like some best of stuff, some stuff that maybe originally was on the Patreon that you might not have heard. So there will be stuff percolating, but nothing new. because we will be sleeping for the whole month of July.
I'm still not clear on did we or did we not ever find and release our very early segment about the dark underbelly of Popeye.
Oh, of Popeye. Can you all write in about it? Because I thought we did.
If
and Lindy doesn't think we did. And the last time we asked, nobody wrote in. I don't know what that means. Does that mean that we did air it or we didn't?
If you're a super fan and you think you've listened to every second of Text Me Back and you have a mind like a steel trap, like a steel can of spinach, can you send us a message and let us know if you have ever heard a recording of Lindy West explaining to Meagan the deep lore of Popeye the Sailor Man?
Please.
Because if we haven't aired it, you're going to be hearing that in July.
When we're speaking of tin cans, when we recorded in our tin can era.
Oh, it sounds like shit.
Absolute shit. Yeah, so get excited. That's happening. That's coming up in July. Get into it. In the meantime, subscribe to the Patreon if you want.
Subscribe
really
to the Substack, Newsletter Me Back.
Oh my God, how could I forget about Newsletter Me Back? The only thing keeping me going in these dark times. It's free for everyone all the time. Yeah. So sign up, baby. And otherwise, hope you enjoyed the show. Thank you for supporting the show.
Yeah.
We can't make it without your help. And oh boy, is life hard. So we really appreciate your support.
And we love to visit with all of our besties in the Discord. And we're so grateful to all of you for being such a cute little community.
Yes, thank you. And you too can be a part of it.
Yep.
If you subscribe to our Patreon, patreon.com/textmebackpod. The only Patreon for the only podcast.
That's what they're saying.
That's more and more. Oh, also the people said you're not allowed to play the Trump drops.
I know. They dropped the frickin' hammer. But that's
too
okay.
bad.
But do you like my idea, though? I want to record you doing the impression. And then they said I could play that.
Okay, so we'll just record me going, very rich. And then we'll add that to the very rich. Yeah, I think you got to do the
seriously overweight.
Seriously overweight. Very rich. now I feel too many eyes on me to do my very rich.
I can go back. You did it great. Like I can just pull it from the older episode.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Well, get excited for the very rich drop. Very rich. Very rich. Seriously overweight. Okay.
Well,
love you guys. Well,
really a lot. And thanks for putting up with 2 weeks of news.
Oof. I don't know how you did it. I know how I did it. With my very own copy of The Way to Happiness, which may be the first non-religious moral code based wholly on common sense. It was written by L. Ron Hubbard, famously non-religious philosopher. Get into it.
We love
you. See you next week.
See you next week.
Mwah.